Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a really important topic, one that affects all of us in our daily lives. Who is an ignorant person? When you hear the word ignorant, what comes to mind? For many, it's simply about not having a formal education or lacking specific knowledge. But is that really what it means? I believe true ignorance goes much deeper. It's not about what you don't know. It's about being closed off to learning and actively resisting new information. It's a mindset, a choice. So, how can we spot this kind of ignorance, not just in others, but also in ourselves? Let's explore the key traits together. The first and most telling trait is being completely closed to criticism. An ignorant person rarely, if ever, considers the possibility that their ideas might be flawed or just plain wrong. When faced with any form of criticism, even constructive feedback, their immediate reaction isn't curiosity, it's anger. They become defensive. They might lash out, or they might shut down completely. To them, criticism isn't a valuable opportunity for growth or a chance to see things from a new perspective. Instead, they perceive it as a personal attack on their character or intelligence. It's like they've built a fortress around their beliefs, and any critique is seen as a cannonball aimed right at them. They're protecting their ego, not seeking the truth. The second trait you'll notice is that they speak with absolute, unshakable certainty. They're the ones in the room who use phrases like, "I know for a fact," or "That's definitely how it is," or "Trust me, it's simple." They present their opinions as indisputable facts. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll often find that what they know is incredibly superficial. It might be based on a headline they skimmed, a rumor they heard, or just a gut feeling. Despite this shallow understanding, they project an aura of complete confidence. This overconfidence is a defense mechanism. By acting like they know everything, they avoid the vulnerability of admitting they might not have all the answers. A wise person understands that the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. An ignorant person thinks they've already got it all figured out. This leads us to the third trait. They judge without doing any research. An ignorant person is quick to form strong opinions based on very little evidence. They readily accept hearsay, gossip, and rumors as truth without a moment of skepticism or a single fact check. They can hear a snippet of a story and, with that alone, make sweeping judgments about a person's entire life or character. For them, the actual truth is secondary. What really matters is how they feel in that moment. Their feelings become their facts. They don't have the patience or the desire to dig deeper, to verify sources, or to understand the full context. It's easier and more satisfying for them to jump to a conclusion that confirms their existing biases. And that brings us to our fourth trait. They are deeply prejudiced. An ignorant person judges people, ideas, and events without any real understanding. They operate on a set of rigid, preconceived notions. When they encounter a new idea or a different perspective, especially one that challenges their worldview, their knee-jerk reaction is to reject it outright. Why? Because change and complexity make them uncomfortable. It's much safer and easier to stick with what they think they already know. Their mind is like a closed box. Anything that doesn't fit neatly inside is immediately labeled as wrong, stupid, or threatening. This isn't just about big issues. It can be as simple as dismissing a new type of music or food without ever trying it. The fifth trait is how they handle disagreements. They see arguments and discussions as battles that must be won at all costs. Their goal isn't to collaborate and find the truth, or to understand the other person's point of view. They have only one objective: to be right. And to achieve this victory, they'll resort to all sorts of tactics that have nothing to do with logic or reason. They might raise their voice and try to shout you down. They might get personal and attack your character instead of your argument. They might stubbornly repeat the same point over and over, refusing to engage with what you're saying. For them, admitting they might be wrong is a sign of weakness, so they'll fight tooth and nail to avoid it, even when the evidence is stacked against them. A productive conversation is about building bridges to a shared understanding. For an ignorant person, it's about burning them down. Next up, the sixth trait. They constantly avoid taking responsibility. When things go wrong, it's never their fault. An ignorant person has a very hard time admitting their mistakes. Instead of owning up to their role in a problem, their default response is to blame someone or something else. You'll hear them say things like, "It wasn't me," or "I only did that because of them," or "the situation was impossible." They are masters of deflection. Taking responsibility requires self-awareness and humility, two qualities they often lack. By shifting the blame, they protect their fragile ego from the discomfort of being wrong. It's a short-term strategy that prevents any long-term growth because if nothing is ever your fault, you never have a reason to change or improve. This ties into the seventh trait. They struggle to empathize with others. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. An ignorant individual finds this incredibly difficult. They don't take the time to try to see the world from someone else's perspective or to understand what others might be thinking or feeling. They evaluate everything and everyone through their own narrow lens. Their own experiences, their own feelings, and their own needs are all that matter. This lack of empathy makes it hard for them to connect with people on a genuine level, and often leads them to be insensitive or cruel, sometimes without even realizing it. They can't walk a mile in someone else's shoes because they don't even see that other people are wearing different shoes. The eighth trait is that they act based on emotion, not knowledge. An ignorant person is often driven by their raw feelings rather than by logic or evidence. They make major decisions fueled by anger, fear, pride, or jealousy. They react, they don't respond. Because their actions aren't based on careful thought or reliable information, they often make mistakes. But here's the kicker. Because they lack the self-awareness we've been talking about, they often fail to even notice the mistakes they've made. And if someone points it out, they get defensive. And we're back to trait number 1. It's a vicious cycle where emotional reactions lead to poor outcomes, but the lesson is never learned. Finally, we arrive at the ninth and perhaps most fundamental trait. They lack the desire to improve themselves. They are not curious. The idea of learning new things, reading a book, researching a topic, or discovering a new skill feels like a chore to them. It feels difficult and unnecessary. This is the absolute core of the issue. They are not ignorant simply because they don't know things. We all have gaps in our knowledge. They are ignorant because they don't want to know. They are comfortable in their lack of knowledge. The door to learning is there, but they have chosen to lock it and throw away the key. So, to wrap it all up, true ignorance isn't a state of lacking information. It's a state of being closed to information. It's an attitude of resistance. The real challenge in life isn't not knowing something. That's a normal part of being human. The real challenge is refusing to admit that you don't know. It's important to remember this so we can spot these traits in others, but more importantly, so we can check ourselves. Are we open to criticism? Do we seek to understand before we judge? Are we willing to admit when we're wrong? As the old saying goes, an ignorant person talks a lot and thinks little. A knowledgeable person thinks deeply and speaks only when it's time. Let's all strive to be the latter. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that makes you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.